Hi, I'm Dino Tripodis. Tonight on Whiskey Business, he's back, the Superintendent of Ohio Liquor, James Canepa. Tonight, we'll get the skinny on all of it on Whiskey Business. I'm Dino Tripodis, and welcome to Whiskey Business. As you know by now, the podcast not so much about whiskey, so much as it is with whiskey, and we've got whiskeys tonight. I'm very excited. A lot of things to cover before our guest has a seat this evening, but James Canepa, the Superintendent of Ohio Liquor here in the great state of Ohio, joins us once again, and it's been a while. I think it's been since before the pandemic or during the pandemic. I can't remember which it is.
That's like at least 2 years ago, I think.
But these three little bottles that look like really like you're sick, dude. If this is your urine sample, then you need
to.
Yeah, these aren't urine samples.
You are not hydrated, my friend.
These are certain treats that we got from Mr.
Pedialyte.
Canepa. But before we get to that, and also I'm so excited about all the whiskey tonight. This thing sitting in the middle, this is an old Dusty. This is an old Forester from 1991 that will be. I've already sampled quite a bit of it.
Me too. It's good.
86 proof. Interesting.
80, no, why is that interesting?
I don't know. I just was trying to say something cool.
No, but a barcode. Look at the
okay,
barcode.
All right.
I know, right?
Barcodes existed back in 1991.
I didn't know that.
A couple of things before we get to the. No, you know what? Whitney reminded me that I totally skipped the business when we had John Sale, but that's one of the things I wanted to talk about before we sit down with James Canepa.
Business?
Get some of the business out of the way. Do you want to do the business, or do you want me to do the sponsor business first? How would you like to approach this, Mr. Hansberry? You are making a corporate decision right now.
You know, they always say pay yourself first. So let's do our business. It'll be quick.
Okay.
Facebook, Whiskey Business. YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis. Smash that subscribe button.
Smash.
And hit the bell. Bing.
Bing.
You'll get a notification every time a new episode comes up. Also, thank you very much for subscribing on your favorite podcasting app. If you are listening, you can go ahead and rate and review if you're on Apple Podcasts, because that helps other people find us. Twitter, whiskeybusinesspod.com is the website. We also, like, word of mouth is huge. So if you know any whiskey collectors, especially today's show with Canepa, any Ohio folks who think they know it all, today would be a good episode to share with them. Thank you also to Evergreen.
Yes.
Evergreen.
Our podcast
network. Our Cleveland family there, who, by the way, is just kicking ass. I mean, they've exceeded where they started and where they're at right now. So we're very fortunate to be part of that podcast network and contributing our small part to their success.
Yeah, they kept us, so I think that's okay, right? We went past the 1 year mark, so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And actually, we came
out.
out.
Or they forgot about us.
We are a W. They do go alphabetically.
That's true.
They might get tired by the time they get to the T's
bottom.
and the S's. Also, want to thank some of our, I guess you can call it our consuming sponsors. We got pizza
our family.
tonight.
This is our Whiskey Business family. Friends of the show.
Gatto's Pizza. If you got to get a pizza, you gotta get a
Gatto.
Gatto. Gotta get a Gatto's.
Yeah, baby.
At 3420 Indianola Avenue, or you can call them at 263-3737 to get a pizza. You guys can have that whenever you feel like getting up and having a slice of pizza.
Yes, sir.
Gotta get a Gatto's. And also our guest bottle. I guess we'll make this the official guest bottle tonight.
86 proof.
The 86 proof, the old Dusty Old Forester from 1991.
What year does it have to be from to be an old Dusty?
That's a good question for Mr. Canepa. I'll ask him. I think anything, pre-2000.
Okay.
Weirdly, I assumed you meant it was gathering dust on your shelf.
No, it's not gathering dust. But my friend Benny at Coach's gave me that, and I'll tell you more about that story when we get to it. But our guest bottle now has a sponsor as well.
Here comes the read.
Tonight's bottle is sponsored by our good friend Jeff Gage.
Yes.
Realtor of the Costigan Gage team at Remax One. You can contact him at 614-638-8711 or email him at jeffgage@remax.net. The team has over 12 years of experience
Wow.
selling houses in and around the Columbus, Ohio area. So whatever you need, they can take care of you. So thank you, Jeff.
They're very
Yay.
good.
They're very good.
They sold my mother-in-law's house.
They sold your mother.
Was she still living in
and
it?
they
Yeah,
brokered
that's how good they are.
and they brokered my sister's place that she bought in German Village.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah,
All
gotta
in
get
within
Jeff.
like 6 months. They did a great job.
Okay. So real quick, before we get Jim on here, because he's pacing, and, I want to talk about our current podcast airing right now, Over the Limit.
Yes.
I wanted to get some post-reaction experiences about that particular podcast with John Saya, where we actually went up against the breathalyzer machine, and you almost failed with only 1.5 drinks.
I just sipped for an hour and a half, and I was like a 0.6 or something like
You
that.
were like a .765.
Oh, I was that
Yeah,
high?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That
you
was
were-
honestly the biggest takeaway. Is
Yeah.
Right?
He just thought he was sitting here nursing him, and he had the highest of every.
You had no liquor. It still blew a 0.325.
And that's
which-
just because I'm hanging out with you all the time.
And hanging out
Wonder
with me.
Bread.
No,
And Chip, did you
the
blow?
Wonder Bread caused
I
it.
did, but I can't remember what it was.
It was under.
It was under. It was
It was
under.
under. The
Yeah.
one that should have blown over was me.
And you did not.
I did not. After
Wow.
7 shots of Jack Daniels, and not to mention the 2 drinks I had before the podcast had begun.
You're Dr. Johnny Fever. That's all there is to it.
I don't
Yeah.
know. There's something wrong
Dude,
with
I'm
me.
telling you.
I blew a 0.068, and then later, when it had even more time to absorb in my system, a 0.062. The calibration,
Calibration
yeah.
error.
It's the only machine I've been able to beat, Jim. Let me take my credit. Yeah, but once again, a valuable lesson learned, and we strongly suggest that if you have not checked out that podcast, go back and check it out. It is airing and on YouTube as we speak, and it's gotten a lot of good reaction and feedback. 'Cause learned
I
about-
spoke to him afterward, and because I didn't want to bring it up during the podcast, but I told him about a trick that I said I learned to beat the test by the cop. He said, "No, that you were just lucky. That doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
That doesn't work." So I don't even want to share it because I don't want people to get an idea that it'll work. It was the eye test.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
I told him how I could beat the eye test by not actually looking at the guy's finger, but it wouldn't have made a difference. It just so happened I got lucky and I passed the test. So yeah. So please do not try to drink and
Chip told me
drive.
not to look at it.
The eye test.
I thought I was really great. But no.
I don't know if we should pour some of this now and sit. No, wait. Okay. The superintendent has told us to wait. 'Cause
Gotta
he
listen
wants
to the
get
super.
these. But I have more questions than just these. But I'm thrilled that he brought these. So Chip, if you don't mind,
Absolutely.
Chip,
Get me out of
would
here.
you don't mind as we
Get my ugly face.
say Chip always hanging around like he always does, and we welcome Mr. James Canepa, the superintendent of Ohio.
I don't understand the whole chip part of the show now.
There's nothing to get.
I mean, what does chip even stand for?
Chip, it's his real name.
Charles.
Like fluffy,
Yeah.
bumpy, knuckles.
Chip. He's been hanging around with us for like years and just hanging out, and decided to put him to work.
He's our production assisiment.
Yeah, he's going to be
He was here drinking, so you might as well earn his
Right,
keep.
right.
he's going to be a social media
Is
guy.
anybody here from Cleveland originally?
I am.
Okay. Do you remember Mushmouth Mario Pachetti?
Mushmouth Marianne Pachetti, yeah, was on Houlihan and Big Truck with a ghoul or
Yeah, we could.
one of those
That's what when I
shows.
see those pizzas.
Soup's on?
Yeah, I see those pizzas, and we should just start. He used to.
Do you want some pizza?
Maybe, but
Okay.
not at the moment.
Okay, all right.
I want my palate to be right.
That's true.
I understand.
You know, no, he used to compete against a German Shepherd to see who could eat a whole pizza faster.
And who would win?
And
It was 50-50.
I think the dog eventually beat him.
Yeah.
He did a rematch and lost on the rematch, and then
Yeah.
they kind of stopped doing the bit.
Yeah.
he was a bad sport.
But he challenged all these people and shut the pizza.
Oh yeah.
You know, they just don't have good television like that.
Right?
They really don't. They really don't. It's awesome. I would have loved to have seen
It was
that.
awesome.
Yeah, that was Houlihan and Big
Dr.
Truck,
Phil.
right?
Yeah. Houlihan and Big Chuck.
How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How about you?
How's the state of Ohio?
As far as I know, rocking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
How many years now you've had this honorable
I
position?
came in February 2017. Mm-hmm. And I was told it was going to be a 6-week gig.
Right. Why'd they tell you that? You never told me that.
Yeah, I did.
6-week
Watch the tape.
You go back on the table. Tell me again.
Go back to the archives.
The inventory platform that rings out the bottle at the liquor agencies, 490 liquor agencies, that pay the suppliers down in Kentucky and pay the agency a commission and pay the brokers their piece with each depletion at the register, wasn't tracking sales. And so tens of millions of dollars wasn't being tracked. And, the state had invested quite a bit of money with Microsoft to get this thing in line and modernize, right? And it was failing. And so the governor at the time was like, put your inspector general hat, prosecutor hat, AG hat on and go over there and tell me what's going on. 6-week gig. People started quitting when I started probing around. And so, at the end of the day, they're like, will you babysit it? Will you babysit it? And I'm like, okay. And so I'm still there.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Turned into 6 years.
Right.
Who's the bad guy in the movie with the what's that movie up in Chicago with the bootleggers and the Untouchables? He's the bad guy in Untouchables.
He's the good guy in the Untouchables. Talking about Elliot Ness?
Yeah.
Elliot Ness was a good
No,
guy.
I prefer the wolf in Pulp Fiction.
There you go.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, who wouldn't?
He's a fixer.
Yeah, right.
He's a fixer.
Great cup of coffee, Jimmy.
Well, I'm thrilled that you're still at the helm and have no intentions of going anywhere, at least not that I'm aware of. So, and Ohio Liquor, it's become.
It's a juggernaut.
It is.
It's a juggernaut.
It is a juggernaut.
Well, if you think about, just a metric, one metric, or I'll give you a couple metrics. One is the revenue when I started in 17 was $975 million. That's like just 42 proof and up. That's not wine. That's not beer. That's not Zimas.
Love some Zima.
This year it'll be 1.8 billion. So what's that in?
That's a hell of a growth.
That's
right
quite an.
Good at math.
That's
but
quite
I
an
know that
ROI.
That's more. Right?
That's quite a bit more, right? So
Checks out.
so because of that, and because of the bourbon boom, we just attract. It's Pygmalion effect, and he'll have to explain to you what that means.
Yeah,
but
sounds like a pig.
No,
it's-
Pygmalion.
it's-
Did you ever see My Fair Lady?
I don't know.
No. All right.
so the more if success creates success.
Sure.
And so the velocity and the sales and the suppliers that provide all the goodies, the bourbon and now tequila, are competing against each other here in this market. And so it's like, it's just more and more and more and more of the goodies because they all want market share here. And so it's wonderful. The other metric is, in 17, 18, the state wasn't even in the barrel business, the single barrel business. Last year we did 450 barrels. We're probably the largest single purchaser of single barrels in the world.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. So that's product
That's huge.
that is in addition to the shelfies, the stuff that we have on the shelves. So we've become, and the last metric, which is what I'm really proud of, is Ohio has become the 4th largest bourbon selling state in the country
Wow.
Has that
by volume and by shelf dollar.
Oh wow.
Behind California,
Oh yeah. Well.
Kentucky,
Oh, come on, man.
Kentucky, no, California, Texas, Florida.
That's pretty.
Now, what does Ohio
impressive.
have in common with those 3 states?
Football.
Nothing. Nothing. Not population. We're not an open state. It's just incredibly nuts.
And also consider the size of this: California, Texas, Florida,
Right.
and then Ohio.
Right.
You could fit Ohio into any of those states.
Right. And so what that tells you is Ohio is a marketplace for whiskey that the suppliers want to go to. It's hot hot market.
So has that quieted down? You know, I remember when you first came on the podcast, we talked about how Ohio doesn't get anything good. Ohio doesn't get any good stuff. We don't get any good stuff. All the good stuff. You know, has that quieted those people down? Because we are getting a lot more
quite a
good
bit.
stuff and a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit. But like, I'm the type of person, if I'm looking at social media, like 100 out of 100, if 99 were positive, I saw one that was just MFing me. I couldn't sleep. I can't sleep that night. You know, I'm like, the guy didn't like me. Yeah, the guy didn't like me. Yeah. You know, so
You don't do that.
I do.
Do you really ever the one?
I obsess over it. It's like, okay, there's a kernel of truth in what he said. What is it? You know, I gotta.
You know, it's, I kind of get that. It's the same thing if you're doing comedy and you're killing and everybody's laughing. You see that one guy who's not laughing. You're like, what the fuck? What am I
Arms
gonna do?
crossed.
What am I going to do to make that guy laugh?
So that's what I mean. That's my MO. It's like, okay, why did that guy hate? Why was that guy hating on me? You know, why was that? What is that guy? Maybe he's onto something. You know what I mean?
It's like Jordan. You know, he always picks on that one thing, and then he wins 6 championships. Right.
So I get, you know, I take that criticism and I obsess about it. Now, if it's somebody who's like, I was in New York and I stopped at this place and I saw Blanton's and I don't see it in Ohio, I'm like, well, why didn't you buy it? Well, it was $400. I'm like, okay, that's why you saw it.
That's why you saw it. Yeah.
You know? So we get more, again, 4th in the country, we get 4th most, right?
Right.
And so, but it goes faster than anywhere in the country because the price is $59.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, California, it's hundreds. If in Florida, hundreds. Texas, hundreds. Because they're open states, and those retailers can put whatever price they want it on it after they own it. 'Cause
Right.
it's theirs, just like the jerky and the Lay's potato chips.
Is California an open state as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're open to a lot of stuff, John.
Yeah.
They are. I know.
So yeah, it has calmed down a lot. You know, you still get people who are like,
I'm sure.
you know, I have a friend in Alabama and he gave me blah, blah, blah. Or I have a friend in wherever and I got blah, blah, blah. You know, fine, whatever. But, you know, I've been watching that 3-part Ken Burns Prohibition. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
It's really amazing.
I have no doubt it's Ken Burns. So.
Where, you know, the start of all of that Prohibition was?
Here.
Hillsboro, Ohio.
Yeah.
We've got a podcast.
The women
You go back in the archives.
Women's temperance.
with
But
Ohio,
anyway,
Ohio v. the world.
Yeah.
what occurred to me watching that is, you know, people will find ways to get stuff if you're keeping it from them, right? And so my objective has been to get as much stuff here as I can possibly get from the suppliers who are happy to bring it here because we're the 4th best market. And if I can continue to do that and eliminate the compulsion for people to like skirt around, they're buying it here. Now, you know, to the extent people want, you know, are looking for an Old Forester Dusty from '91.
That's a different world. That's a different world.
And by the way, I didn't bring this. Just
No,
for
you
the
didn't.
record.
No. I got this from my friend Benny at Coaches, the owner of Coaches, and that is the new hidden market, not the secondary market.
Benny?
No,
the Dusty market.
Oh, sweet old ladies who want all the liquor out of their house market.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
So her husband, God bless him, passed away, and she said, I want all the liquor out. And he took all the liquor, and there were these bottles that had never been opened from like the
It's probably
80s.
from Kresge.
Yeah, right. Probably.
Right?
Well, it's funny. Like a handle. There's a handle of 90 proof Jack Daniels that was never opened, and it was like a handle was like $8.95. Yeah, you know, the price tag was still on it.
Glass
crazy.
glass handle too.
Yeah,
you know, not
glass,
plastic.
yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
great. So that's compliments of my friend Benny. So
And the
No,
little
no,
lady.
no, that's awesome. No, it's been tremendous. It's the suppliers, the brokers, the grocers, the bars and restaurants. You know, the relationships we have are really, really good. And so, but I do take that criticism very seriously. And in fact, if they're not just, you know, the guy who saw something in New York or the guy who got something from wherever, and they're like, hey, Jim, have you ever thought about bop, 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 bop? Changing some of the ways you do it. And I'm like, we're calling that guy. I think he's got some good ideas.
Sure.
And so they're literally just knocked back in their seat when I call them. I'm like, hey, this is, Canepa from Super.
Is this Hog Hag 32?
Yeah. and so we'll spend, yeah. So we'll talk to those guys or gals and get ideas about how to do things better. I mean, it's always the same challenge, right? How do you make it the access more fair? Because there's a group of people running around from agency to agency, laying in their lawn chairs by the dumpster, waiting for the truck to get there.
Still,
And the people who've got day jobs, the people who don't think about whiskey 24/7, get there, and those same handful of people.
I can't.
And
I
so
don't even remember the last time, because I was one of those people early on when I was chasing bourbons. I can't remember the last time I've done that. I just if I get it, I get it, and if I don't, if it falls into my lap, so be it.
Right.
The lotteries, I still take part of the lottery.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those are just fun.
but the whole
Which I haven't won, by the way.
Yeah, come on.
Never.
Never.
Well, it's it's rigged.
Right. It would be too obvious if you win.
That's right.
It, you know?
Like the NFL.
It's rigged. So that's always the
Kansas City
challenge.
Chiefs run it.
Is the agencies hate it.
Yeah.
They hate people loitering. They hate people sleeping on the sidewalk.
I bet.
The local
know.
grocer, they do it. They hold back their bottles and they release them all on Saturday. How do you
Some
feel about
do.
that? So this one's particular. Are
Some
you
do.
cool with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because that was a suggestion from both a liquor agency retailer and from some of the customers, because it's like it gives everybody a better chance
Sure.
to get a wider
But that
array
doesn't
of.
break the rules of.
No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
those retailers need relief. I mean, it's a pain in the butt, and people are hostile.
Yeah.
And it's like people break out into fights about who was there first to get a bottle of Blanton's. I mean, that's ridiculous.
And what do you mean I could only get one?
What?
Right.
And to some degree, the lines self-police. So if there's 20 people in line and that one guy's got like an armload, he ain't getting out of it. He's not getting out of there unscathed.
No.
And so the retailer, one per, we support that. If they want to do a big, cattle call on a Saturday, we support that.
All right.
If they want to, their truck comes and, they want to space out the releases into the store throughout the day, that guy getting home from work,
He'll get a shot at him.
he gets a shot at it, right? But, there's still those people who, you put it out now. You put it out. I know what you got back there. First of all, you don't know what they have back there. You're just browbeating the clerk. But the social media, it's like one guy will walk into a store and he'll be like, it's here. Next thing you know, on Reddit, go to, Wylands. They have, Taylor, So it's just, it's
Do that. Yeah.
it's still the
Taylor in the wild, buddy.
So it's still a challenge coming up with ways to make it fair to the regular person.
But how cool that somebody says, I have an idea, and like you said, they're blown away when you contact them.
huge.
I mean, let's I know it's Ohio liquor, but it is part of the state and it is part of the government. So in my way, that's a huge step towards, government talking to the people, really talking to the people. And if they could just transfer some of that to the rest of the government.
It starts with bourbon.
It starts with bourbon. It started with whiskey. We learned our lesson with whiskey, but I think that's so cool.
Right.
Because you feel like wow, they took my idea. That was me. I suggested that.
Well, I try to do. Again, I obsess about this stuff, like selling it fair, giving, finding ways to shift around the sands for those people, the chasers, the taters, the people who get their lawn chairs, to keep them off balance is like priority number one. Now, priority number two is I'm trying to run it as much like an open state as possible. So
Interesting.
So I run it, manage it, treat the 490 agencies like a big retail chain.
Okay.
So our branding, our marketing, our points of sale, our distribution, the strategies that we coordinate with the suppliers is all geared towards where in Ohio is this gonna this program, this release, the single barrel Saturday, whatever it is, where is it gonna work? Where is it gonna maximize the sales for the supplier? Because at the end of the day, what you want as a retailer is you want to be the favored son, the favored nation for the suppliers who have the goodies. So my whole goal is to make Ohio the place they want to come. And the way you do that is you look and feel as opposite of a bureaucratic operation as possible. Easy to market, using their data, their strategies, their merchandising plan. That's why we beat Pennsylvania. That's why we beat Michigan. That's why we beat West Virginia, because those suppliers go to those same markets and get told what to do. And I'm sorry, but like I am a bureaucrat. I try to do everything to make that palatable. But at the end of the day, I'm a government employee. But they know their business. Why? Who am I to tell Diageo or Old Forester, which is Brown-Forman, oh, I got a different plan? Mm-hmm. No. The way I beat those other markets and get the goodies and creep up on Florida to be number 3 is making Ohio the place they want to come. And that is by being as close to the private retail operation as you can be, and as opposite of a bureaucratic bullshit operation as you can be. And so that's why I call these people back, because they have ideas. And even though it's painful to hear sometimes, they have ideas.
And that's why your 6-week gig has turned into what it is as we speak. One more question, and I'm very curious about the little treats that you brought with you this evening,
and the whys and wherefores.
And also, I think this since you said no, don't drink this one yet. Don't do that. This is the longest we've gone.
That's what I was about to say that.
Without a sip of whiskey.
It's sort of a natural transition from the breathalyzer speech that you
It's
gave.
the longest we've gone without sips.
Yeah,
It's February 1st.
I had one
for
question.
the dry
I had
January,
one question.
folks.
How much? What was the increase during the pandemic? When everybody I talked to seemed to be boozing twice as much.
So what happened was the bars and restaurants shut down,
right?
And so people augmented their home bar. Yours is plenty augmented.
Yeah, it's hanging in there. It's
But
actually depleted.
yours was like this before.
It's actually. I just recently put a couple extra things. It got depleted pretty well.
So people, you, me, everybody, they have, what their entertainment fund is, right?
Right.
And the spend didn't change. It just shifted to home entertainment versus going out all the time.
Right.
So the overall dollar went up because they were buying premium. So it's like when I go to Ruby's or when I go to Mitchell's, I'm getting 4 Roses, or I'm getting, you're splurging.
Yeah.
And so what happened is they were like, shoot, I'm spending $14 a glass on this at a bar or restaurant, and they're grabbing top shelf. So it was a premiumization.
What was that?
It was a premiumization during COVID, and so people were trading up because now they're entertaining at home, and it's like they want an experience because they're not going out. And so what we saw is the dollars went up, but it was premiumization versus volume. Now,
Gotcha.
Now certainly vodka is always the volume leader. It's always the gorilla in the room. They do a volume business. Bourbon does a top shelf business. Tequila does a top shelf business. So in terms of dollars, they're equivalent, but in terms of volume, they're less because it's just more expensive items. So there was an uptick, but you also have to subtract what was at the bars from that equation.
Sure.
So the overall retail side went up 25-35%.
Okay.
But the wholesale bar and restaurant side went down 20-30%.
Right.
So overall, what we were doing typically was 6, 7, 8% growth month over month. During COVID, it went to 10, 11. So the net between on-prem bars and restaurants and retail.
Gotcha. And now
So now we're back
to normal. So we're getting back to normal.
So we're back to 7, 8, 9, 10% growth month over month. So we're back to normal, but we're still clicking maybe 1%, 2% higher per month. And I think, is my theory, I think it's because people were like, I like having a home cabinet.
Yeah.
You know? And so I like entertaining on the back barbecue with a home cabinet.
And with friends. And
Friends and
A variety of
yeah,
options.
A lot of people kind of rediscovered that type of atmosphere as far as a social engagement.
And you're bourbon heavy here, but when you have guests over, you're going to want to have the gin, the vodka, the tequila, the cordials, the whatnot. So, that one note wonder that people would always have stock for themselves or their wife. They've got now a nice arrangement in their cabinet. And
Beautiful.
so I think that's keeping us that 1 or 2% tick above pre-COVID.
How do you feel about the website these days? You think it's gotten even friendlier and easier to navigate?
Well, there's 2 different websites. There's the OHLQ sort of academy, what's going on, social media type web piece of it. And then there's the where is stuff? How can I find stuff?
Which is highly inaccurate, I've found.
No. No. So, if you are a shopper for vodka, gin, I should say, for everything other than high-end tequila and allocated bourbons, which aren't even on OHLQ for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it could come in on a 9 o'clock truck, and those guys in their lawn chairs wake up and go, and it's gone.
That's why I'm joking about it. That's the stuff I'm talking about.
So so the website updates every 15 minutes. So sales and what's on the website every 15 minutes. And we purposely put, bottles that say full, half full, empty, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're seeing a half full bottle of Weller Reserve, Weller Antique, or Blanton's or Taylor or whatever that's allocated, by the time you get there, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that's not inaccurate. That's just, put on your track shoes and get there, or camp overnight, which I don't recommend.
Suggest.
If you have a life, don't do that.
Right. Okay.
But if you're looking for a Scotch, an Irish, whatever, you're going to have a shopping experience. Plus, we're putting the story of the suppliers, the backstory on the whiskey, the sip to seed story, things.
Because people want the education, they want the story, they want the backstory,
They want the story.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so
they got number 1, number 2, number 3. Not hard to follow.
Yeah,
pour them in the order from left to right. Mm-hmm. Just do it
from left to right. My left.
So
your left.
Your
So
left.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yeah. So pour it in the far glass.
It's math.
Yeah.
It's math.
okay. First one.
So you pour your first
Sure
glass.
you haven't had anything to drink yet?
Pass it down.
Yeah, and hand it, pass it over.
Chug it.
Chug it. How much should I?
Taster. You've done this. You've done it before. You're a pro. There you go. See, it looks just like at the distillery.
All right.
And then
Okay,
all
all right.
Keep going,
Okay,
Dino. Go to number 2.
Oh, you want me to do this? You want me to do this? Lickety split. Okay.
All right, 1. We got to save some for Chip too.
No, there's plenty.
There's enough.
There's 2.
This is really fun for those people listening at home.
This is what we do at the distillery. So I'll tell the whys and the wherefores while we're doing this. So this dovetails with your question about, is it still crazy? The bourbon chasers, the bourbon business still crazy. Yes, it's still crazy.
Yeah.
But for all those people who, are into the bourbon or just getting into bourbon, and Dino's heard this before, having
Yeah.
gone on picks. You know, the whiskey has notes, flavor notes.
Right.
Right. You know, there's floral, there's caramel, there's chocolate, there's vanilla, there's
Citrus.
grassy, tobacco, leather,
Vanilla.
whatever. You know what?
What's a good one?
So, but people who like bourbon have those bourbon notes that they like, and that's why they keep going back to it, and they go back to certain ones maybe. But there are other whiskeys out there that have notes that you like in bourbon, but they're not bourbon. So these are bourbon drinkers whiskeys that aren't bourbon.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Bourbon drinkers whiskeys that aren't bourbon, and these are just 3 of them.
Okay, yeah, that reminds me when we had the folks from Avalor Scotch.
So get the nose on that first one, number 1.
Yeah, they had
forget what number this is.
scotches that were like good bridges for bourbon drinkers who wanted to
Right.
come back to Scotch, and they were magnificent.
This is strong nose.
That's just like vanilla candy.
Very, yeah, kind of. Just this reminds me of
Yeah.
Christmas.
That's nice.
Right?
Real
Just the
A little burn, but
campfire-ish
smooth.
on the way out.
Campfire-ish. Mm-hmm.
You get that char, like a bourbon barrel would have, or whiskey.
That's a sipper, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
nice.
a sipper. It's a great sipper.
Oh, well, that aftertaste is real nice.
Long finish. Nice.
Beautiful finish. Actually,
It's like I'm at a campfire right now. In my mouth.
I think going down, I think it's pretty smooth going down initially, even though there's just a little bit of a bite. But
Yeah, right at the
but-
end.
initially, okay.
It's a little hot.
Right? All right. Well, let's go to number 2.
Number 2, you're not going to tell us what this is yet. Okay. All right. Do we need water? Separator? There's some waters over there.
He'll give you a sip of his monster over here.
No, give me.
It's Liquid Death,
Actually,
Jim.
it looks like Old English.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Have you seen these? You've
No,
seen
it
these.
looks like Old English. Thank you.
They're water, but they look like like tall boy beer cans.
Okay.
All right, number 2.
I've got water. Thank you.
Okay. Number 2. Oh, I apologize. I'm just a slightly congested, but not that congested.
I just took some menthol lozenges.
Lozenges.
Now this one is a little more, I want to say earthy.
Perhaps.
To me, anyway.
It's not as strong on the nose.
No, not at all. It's still a little sweet on the front end. I taste a little bit of, to me, a little vanilla. It's very, very smooth, as in there's no burn at all. It's completely smooth all the way from the front to the back.
It tastes like a whiskey.
Yeah, this
Irish.
is
This Irish whiskey.
This is almost like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, because this would destroy me. This is like, I could drink a water glass of this.
No doubt.
I could drink a water glass of this.
It's another sipper.
It's very soft.
It's very
Yes,
but
right,
it's
it's
very smooth and,
Yeah.
and it
You could probably hold that in one hand while you're playing bocce during the summer.
yeah.
Right?
But I would drink like a whole water glass of it.
And then Uber home.
Yeah, of course.
I don't love the flavor as much as the first one, but it's pretty damn smooth.
All right.
It's, we all have our own personality with taste here.
Yeah, but you know what? I could, on any given day, if I knew I was going to today's going to be a whiskey day, I could drink this probably longer than that.
It's like a session IPA.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
don't know what the proof is, so this may be a very dangerous
Right.
whiskey. You know what I mean?
All right, that was number 2. I like number 2, and there's a little more of a finish,
Little hug.
little
in there.
hug at the end,
But nothing like the first one.
but still an unanticipated hug considering how it smells and how it goes down. The little late hug
This one's
is surprising.
noisy.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot fruitier. I feel it's fruitier.
Little fruit. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's fruitier.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get it, guys.
Yeah.
It has like
It only took us
something
6
in it.
years.
Dark fruit.
What's that? Fig Newtons or something. That's what it
Or
tastes like.
plum.
This is a different cup than the other one. I'm having trouble drinking out of it.
You need the sippy part of it.
Yeah,
We left the sippy cup part top off.
Ooh. Okay.
Right.
This has more of a Scotch feel to it.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, there's some peatiness in it. Yeah.
But it's got those notes though,
Yeah,
right?
It does. It does.
That-
It does. Not so Scotchy that the Scotch. I don't want it because I like Scotch.
Real
But
peppery.
but this is
But
this
for a
is like-
bourbon drinker,
yeah.
you're like,
Real-
I thought I hated Scotch.
Yeah.
But the corn is really front and forward, so you don't.
I taste like a citrus, man.
Yeah,
I
there's
really do.
There's a little brightness to it.
Yeah.
All right. So the whole idea here
Drum roll.
was, Demi, did you like these?
Oh yeah, all three were
right.
great.
First
them
one,
all.
number one was
all,
my
All
favorite.
bourbon drinkers here.
These are old Forest. No, it's Old Overholt.
So number one,
Drum roll, please.
Crown Royal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Whiskey.
All right.
Look at that.
Hand selected. That's a hand selected.
Single barrel
Yeah.
Crown Royal. So
Lovely.
Crown Royal is a blend.
Yeah.
What they do is they take one of the barrel profiles out of that blend, and that's what that is. And so that whiskey there is, to me, really appealing. For
And this is available. Are these available or are they coming?
this is one that we just released,
Okay.
and this is a Diageo product, and they love the state, and we took a chance. We both took a chance because, again, the bourbon haters are like, that's Canadian whiskey, bullshit. And so they were offering us single barrels, and so it was kind of a risk because our single barrel bourbons fly off, people line up, but we're like, Canadian single barrels, and so we took a chance, and guess what? People loved it.
Yeah.
People loved it, but they weren't elbowing each other. They weren't sleeping out in front. They were available at the agencies that we released them. And ever since then, our allocation on this product has gone up and up and up and up. And so we do it every year.
And what's this?
103 proof, by the way. For
What's this retailing for?
It was hot.
You think?
I think that's like $79.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The bottle looks expensive.
It's very fancy.
Bottle looks expensive.
Number two.
Number
All right.
2.
Yeah,
Number
that was
two.
my favorite. And yeah,
Number
103.
2. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Tingling.
Nice. Irish whiskey.
I've had that. That's good stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Teeling. Irish whiskey. But it has the notes that you like as a bourbon drinker.
I like Irish whiskey
Yeah.
as a rule.
Well, there's a common theme here. I like
Yeah.
Scotch.
I mean, no. I mean,
There's a theme.
okay. But I used to be
I like
a confirmed
Gavin's
Scotch
pizza.
drinker before bourbon. But in order right now, if I were to go, I would go bourbon, Irish whiskey, and I don't know. It'd be a toss up between the Canadian whiskeys and Scotch. Probably Canadian whiskeys, because there's a bottle over there that my brother-in-law sent me for Christmas that you're probably familiar with as well, Caribou, that they make in Canada but bottle at Buffalo Trace. Make it twice a year. I don't know if you've had it or not. Not tried it. Go ahead and grab it. Since we're doing the Canadian thing, it's single barrel. Which one is it? All the way in the middle shelf next to the Town Branch.
It's 92 proof for the Teeling, by
Right.
the way.
Oh, keep going. There you go. Yeah.
That's a
This
good
is the one
proof.
that went down really smooth.
92 is a decent.
Yeah, that's the one I can drink water glasses of.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
92 proof.
And that gets you in trouble, brother.
So, so this is, Ireland came to Ohio. No other state came to Ohio. The Irish government is actually the merchandising marketing arm for Irish whiskey and Irish cream and a lot of the cheeses and whatnot. But so their Department of Agriculture is a marketing division, and they came to Ohio. Why?
Number
Like I
4.
said, number 4, right? And so they started their campaign in Ohio, and they did a tasting just like we're doing now, and I was like, holy crap, is that good? And so I'm like, you know what? Bourbon drinkers have to get hip to other things.
Sure.
They have to get hip to other things because it's just it's kind of like I like pizza. I love pizza.
Gatto's pizza specifically.
Gatto's pizza.
Right. That's right.
But I'm not eating pizza every night of the week when I'm hungry.
No, and since you like pizza, are you going to try other pizzas, or are you going to get the same pizza?
Night after night after
Right,
night.
right.
Calzone.
Yeah, you gotta do
it. Hey, once in a while, white pizza,
Sure.
with spinach on it.
Sure, with a little chicken.
And so people need to
Don't go crazy, John.
try some other things that might be in your palate wheelhouse.
Hold on. What's the retail for this Teeling?
That one.
I think that's pretty reasonable.
That's probably another.
It's like $50 or
79,
so. $79 for that?
79, 59. I don't know.
I think it was a gift. I didn't pay for it, so.
I just love the Irish,
Last
the
but
eagle
not
or whatever
least.
that is.
Uh-oh. What is that?
Indian whiskey. Indian single malt.
Wow. Okay, never heard of it, never seen it.
This is a Sazerac. Before I move on, this is a Bacardi
Okay.
product.
Right.
A product Bacardi owned distillery.
All right.
This one is Sazerac
We know that.
owned distillery.
Paul, is it called? Paul John?
And single malt Indian whiskey. And is that amazing? And so it's an OHLQ release, but it's not. But the reason it's an OHLQ release is because Ohio is the only state that got the majority of these cases.
Huh.
And so, but I was blown away, absolutely blown away. And this is a product that you can go in to the stores, and there are Paul John Indian malt whiskeys on the shelves right now.
110 proof. 110 proof.
Okay. I mean,
So the whole idea here is bourbon drinkers whiskeys that aren't bourbon.
right. We need to expand our horizons.
That's right.
And you guys aren't, for the most part, aren't schlumps
No.
when it comes to drinking whiskey.
No,
That guy over there, Chip, I don't know, but
You don't
No,
trust me. Well,
He's a hell of a schlump.
we. You know what?
He's a great
He's a
schlump.
beloved schlump. We've actually brought him along. I mean, you probably feel like your
Evil Rare.
your knowledge has
Little bit, yeah.
expanded
Oh, yeah.
since you started
Definitely.
hanging out
Same
with
boat.
us.
I am no expert.
No, and
It's
I
actually
don't. None
looks
of
more
us.
like
none
a-
of us are experts. We always
like
say
a
that.
But
None of
since I've been hanging out with you, I have grown an interest in it.
none of us are experts. We're all enthusiasts. But I will say that these two gentlemen, over the years, have developed better noses and
Well, he
palates
didn't know anything
for
the
whiskey.
first
He
show
knew
I was
nothing.
on.
No.
Now he's talking flavor notes.
Oh,
and
Yeah.
Your nose is actually very good. Your nose is actually better than
I get
mine.
it from my
Is it
mom's
Roman
side of the
nose?
family. What?
No,
It looks more
No.
Scottish.
no.
I'm
that's-
like 2 years behind.
It's an
so-
Indiana nose.
Yeah.
It's an Indiana nose. Who's your nose? Who's your nose? Yeah, but no.
Well, good. I'm glad
great.
you guys like that. And the cups that I brought, I call those my ATV cups
Oh, yeah.
because when I'm riding around in my ATV in the woods,
Yeah.
it doesn't spill in the cup holder.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
They're mason jars for those folks.
Makes
at home.
sense, yeah.
Very.
Very nice.
Love a good mason jar.
Yeah. So if you have an ATV.
So is this
cups.
going to be on the Scotch shelf, the Indian?
No.
one? Where's this going to be?
It's going to kind of be in the whiskey section.
In the whiskey section.
I've
Kinda
never seen that bottle.
It's going to be close to the Scotch,
Yeah.
but not necessarily in the
But
Scotch.
this is an Ohio barrel.
It'll be
pick.
Scotch.
That's a-
It'll be Scotch adjacent.
that one is, but this
But it-
Paul John
Yeah.
has, just like every distillery has their lineup, this product is there.
And what's retail for that, Paul John?
God, I don't remember. I don't remember the price.
I'm going to look out for that one. I like that one, too.
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
The single barrel's gone, but the Paul John products are there. So all of these whiskeys, have a halo effect. So if you like this one, there's other ones on the shelf that have, I call them the little brothers,
Yeah.
right? So, Old Forester has, birthday.
Sure. If you
right?
can find it, yeah.
I think Statesman is like the baby birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has that
It's good.
birthday note, but it's out there on the shelf. These all are the leaders in their categories, and so their notes are carry over in other products.
Try the Caribou since we're say the Canadian, and tell me what you think. I think it's I think it's very very Very, very sweet for starters. Do we need another separate? We got shot glasses. Did we give him shot glasses?
Let me do something here.
Yeah, get him a Chip. Can you grab a shot glass from the bar?
Absolutely. No, I got it. I got it under control. Yep, I got it under control.
Yeah. Now my brother-in-law sends me a mystery bottle every Christmas, and I do not open it until Christmas. And
This was the mystery bottle?
that was the mystery bottle this year. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is,
It's a single barrel.
I'm very interested in that product.
They make it in Canada, but they bottle it at Buffalo Trace, and it's only made twice a year.
Why do they ship it all the way down to Buffalo Trace?
Dude, I don't know.
That's weird.
I don't know.
They don't
I
have
really
glass
don't know.
in Canada?
Caribou Crossing. This is a single barrel Canadian whiskey.
Just jumping up here.
And I can't see the proof on it.
80.
80?
Only 80.
Only 80.
It's smooth.
It is smooth and it's sweet. It's a little too sweet. Not too sweet for me, but sweeter than what I'm accustomed to.
You used to be like a barrel proof guy.
This is
Yeah,
it's
I still am. I mean, I like barrel proof.
call me crazy, but I taste banana in this.
Very common.
I don't think you're crazy.
Dude, I do too.
Banana.
Yeah, that's banana.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't. I like it, but I don't think I could drink a lot of it because it's a little too sweet for me.
It's almost like a, God, it's almost verging on a port.
In fact, yeah, I think I said that to him when he said, "What do you think of us?" I think this would be a great dessert whiskey.
Yeah,
for me.
nice.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's good. It's good. I mean, I love it. I mean, and then I found out that my sister had something to do with the selection as well. So she liked it. So she had something to do with picking
I'm
it.
gonna have to talk to the my Sazerac friends. Or Buffalo Trace, did you say?
They bottle at Buffalo Trace. That's what I
to
was
my-
told.
There's a medal on there. What does the medal say?
Yeah, banana.
What do they win?
Brendan, I'm coming to talk to you about this.
Caribou Crossing. There we go. All right.
That's nice.
Conducting some business.
Some business. All right.
Let's see. You want pizza? Anybody
What's your
want
cut?
pizza?
I do now. Yeah. Woo!
Let's take a pause for our sponsor, Gatto's Pizza.
Gatto's Pizza. Gotta get a Gatto's. Yeah, there's cheese and there's pepperoni.
In honor of Mushmouth Mario
What do you
Pichetti.
want? What do you want? What do you want?
What do you got?
Pepperoni sausage on one,
And what's on the other one?
and just cheese on the other.
Just cheese.
Just
Just
cheese.
cheese.
Just give him a cheese.
Here, give me that one. I'll take that one. Whatever that is.
So
Their sausage is look at their big old.
let's.
patties.
I would be remiss if I did not ask about. I mean, a 6 week commitment that's turned into 6, almost 7 years now. Moving forward, what do you want to continue to do? What do you want to improve upon? You kind of hinted on it as we discussed this evening on certain things, but moving forward, you want to be number 3 instead of number 4. But are there other things, other exciting things, other whiskeys, other worlds that will be coming to Ohio that we'll get excited about? I remember you got excited that Willet finally kind of worked their way into Ohio, but once again,
That was a relationship building effort.
yeah. So what
it's-
other relationships are you building? That's a great way to put it.
So I'm trying to get Smoke Wagon.
Oh yeah, nice.
Pepper is coming.
Pepper.
That's another one that's coming.
I don't know Pepper. Do you?
Look it up.
Not off the top of my head.
What was the other one?
Contrary to popular belief, I do not know every
Every whiskey?
freaking whiskey that's out there. No, I don't.
Is Willet ever coming to Ohio?
They are in
They're
Ohio.
here.
They're here.
Yeah. So Willet, we're going to try to expand the portfolio to other Willets.
Really?
In fact, that's where I'm visiting them in February.
Wow. How long have they been in the market?
Probably just going on a year.
Yeah, not long. Not long. And
Okay.
there hasn't- and it's been one of those,
So
they
this
say it's available, but
So this is
I never see it.
This is like a typical how this rolls out, right? So there's a supplier, whether it was Willet, whether it was Weller Green or Red, whether it was Blade and Bow is another one that I was chasing after.
Right.
There are these products that Old Granddad 114 is another example where people are like, we don't have it. So I look into it. I talk to the supplier. I talk to the brokers. And Willet is a good example where that sort of exemplifies the industry. So Willet is so popular everywhere, and they've got customers that meet their production numbers. You know, it's not like vodka where you can just make it out of a rock.
Right.
It's aged. There's a process. It's, you know, the whole American oak. It's, you know, it's a process, and it's limited production. And so Willet had all the customers and demand in all the markets that they could produce. And so it's like, what about Ohio? I mean, you know, we're number 4. We're, you know, don't you want to be in Ohio? And they're like, we sell everything we sell everything we make. Like, it doesn't get any better.
Right.
And so the owner had kind of a bad taste in his mouth about Ohio because he had a bad experience pre-JVC, and he had in his mind that it was sold on consignment. He thought that his bottles had to be sold in a store before he would get paid.
What? That's not right.
And so I was like, no, you get paid net 30. Like, your truck pulls up, you get paid.
You get paid. What?
You know, and so I talked to Heidelberg. Heidelberg had some inroads, and actually a bourbon aficionado, former hater, one of those people who I was determined to meet and find out what his his gripes were and his list of grievances.
Klondike 3472.
And so I had a drink with him and totally broke bread. Had a lot of common interests, common experiences, and he was like, you know, I know the owner at Willet, and I'm like, well, shoot, you know, get me a meeting. So he, between this guy and Heidelberg, broke the ice, and at first they're like, okay, you're getting the pot still, you're getting Noah's Creek, and you're getting Rowan's Hill or whatever it is, Noah Hill, Rowan's Creek.
No Hill.
Noah's Mill, Rowan's Creek.
Yeah, and no barrels though.
All good.
No barrels.
No barrels. No barrels.
No barrels, Jim. And so I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
whatever. And like, I don't know, maybe 6 months into it, he's like, we can't keep this stuff on the shelves in Ohio. So you want barrels? Like,
Nice.
and so now we're doing barrels, and we had to do it in a lottery. We had to do Willet barrels, a retail lottery, and a bar and restaurant lottery, because it's so freaking hot. And so yeah, but that's like how it happens. Smoke Wagon's another one. It's like, it's a Vegas distillery. You know, somebody's
Still
like,
have a little bit of Smoke Wagon left.
yeah, and so
It was good, but
again, but people want it, right? So I'm trying to get it because they're getting it in other ways. Back to the prohibition, right? Like, don't deprive people of what they want. So I'm trying to develop a relationship. Smoke Wagon, very close to having that here. You remember the story about Pappy?
Right.
17, Ohio was cut off from Pappy. Like, one of the first thing my bourbon nuts were telling me is like, get the Pappy spigot turned back on. You know, you're the man. You're the guy in charge now. Get the Pappy and the BTAC spigot turned back on. So I'm at a conference. I meet the CEO of Buffalo Trace Sazerac. I met the owner, Bill Goldring, and they're like, "Hey, Jim, welcome aboard. What can we do for you?" I'm like, "How do I get the Pappy spigot turned back on?" And they're like, "Sell it fairly."
Right.
You remember this story?
I do.
Yeah.
That story I do remember.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
it's building a relationship, because they had a bad taste in their mouth about how the Pappy was going to VIPs, to, you know, store owners, neighbors, special lists, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, that's where the lottery was born. I'm like, what do I do? He's like, do a lottery. And so because of the lottery, and because we've established a relationship, he calls it, because I was like, tell me about why Oregon, because I get bitched at all the time. Why does Oregon get so much stuff? Why does Texas get so much stuff? And he's like, those were our customers in the 80s and 90s when nobody was buying bourbon.
Right.
So they're staying loyal.
My brother-in-law walks into a liquor store in California and sees like 20 Eagle Rares sitting on the shelf, collecting dust.
And so, well, and that
what
marketplace
price
is
point?
different. They want wine.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying is like they get a lot of stuff.
Yes.
What price point would that be? Is it reasonable because there's 50 of them?
It's Oakland.
It's a market. It's
No,
what,
price point. How much?
It's
Oh, like for Eagle Rare, $35.
Oh, so
yeah, it's just what's the demand in that particular demographic. And so they're wine. They're big in the wine. But because of the relationship and because we're doing it fairly, again, what's my job? Make Ohio the fertile market
great again.
for the people who have fertile market for people who have the goodies, right? And so because of that, they called about taking the Weller Reserve and that Weller Antique off of allocation. It was between us and Virginia. The same guy I met who I talked about taking Pappy off the off the bad list and getting it back calls me up and says, "Look, we really like what's happening in Ohio. We are going to do an experiment and take Weller Reserve, Weller Antique off of allocation to either Virginia or to Ohio." I'm like, "Okay, what do I got to do?" He's like, "Let us pick the first 150 stores." I'm like, "Okay, fine." And so now it's in all the stores.
Yeah.
And so that's how it's done. Again, it's, relationships, building relationships with the people who have the stuff you have that you want in your retail chain. And so
Well, there's a good lesson there when they said these are the people that were with us in the 80s. There's a good lesson there. You know what their thought process is, and they know
They're
understand,
loyal.
They understand loyalty.
Loyalty.
I think
So-
loyalty is the lesson.
So Mark Brown, the CEO, he's like, he's an English guy. Jim, they're my loyal customers from the 80s and 90s, and you're my new customer that I'm loyal to. And so now we've got a relationship. And
Was that your British accent?
that was it.
That was
it.
Yeah,
That's as good as you get.
Actually,
needs
the
work.
first
It needs
day
work.
I remember
It needs
we
work.
did the Mark Brown impression in an earlier podcast.
I've gotten better?
No, it was better.
Better?
Earlier.
What do you want from me?
I tell you what, the other question I want to ask, and then we'll kind of wrap it up here as we get.
We got to do the Forester, man.
We'll do the Old Forester. We'll do that. We can do that. We can do that now. You can pour some Old Forester. You
right.
liked it. I know you liked
I
it when
know
you were
it's
trying
good
it.
stuff, man.
I would be remiss if we did not discuss our local distillers, our Ohio distillers, who are making a mark in the whiskey,
Big
in
mark.
in the bourbon world. And wow, the fact that we have so many impressive ones right here in Columbus, Ohio, Watershed, High Bank, Echo. And more seem to be popping up. I went to the whiskey festival this year. We all did. Yeah. Went to the whiskey festival this year, and came across some Ohio distillers that I have not tried.
Which whiskey festival?
The one that was out at the farm at Henrik Farms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It was
Okay.
It was good. It was a good time.
So yes, I'm glad you're underscoring that. That whole festival, by the way, is a brainchild of the guild, the Craft Distiller Guild, which is Ohio spirits makers.
Right.
And so, before that type of festival, there were no festivals. There were no whiskey festivals.
Packed.
Yeah.
And they're like, what about us? How can we do this? How can we showcase, our goods? And they had idea how to do it. And it's like, let's figure out how to do this. And so we just figured it out. We stand up a liquor agency there so people can buy on the way out.
You guys were very busy.
Yeah.
That day.
Very busy.
You were very busy that day.
Yep.
And so no,
a lot of traffic.
I love those guys. They really built a community amongst themselves, and they really have, as business people, figured out the advantages they have in Ohio as a market.
Yeah.
And I meet with them on a regular basis. It's very, very active discussion. Again, lots of ideas from these guys. Lots of ideas. And I want them to be successful. And so that's why we do these festivals. That's why, it's really easy to market for these guys. Think about it. Where else can you have a marketplace where you're a distiller, a little guy, where distribution around the whole state doesn't cost you anything?
Not too many.
Okay, so what's really on what's really the challenge for them is making it successful, because we're going to give you the opportunity, and if you can really present a product that people want, you're going to get statewide distribution. So what's your plan? Is it grassroots? Is it marketing? Is it advertising? Is it tastings? Is it festivals? Whatever it is, if you are successful, if you're not successful here, you're not going to be successful anywhere. Because in New York, I mean, you're literally like a encyclopedia salesman, from bar to bar to store to store. Try this, try this, try this. And the challenge there is, if you are an owner of a beverage store and you're selling liquor, wine, beer, and whatever else it is, you buy it, you're hoping it sells, right? So some new distiller comes to you and says, hey, I got this $49 bottle of whiskey
From Ohio.
From Ohio. And you're like, okay, I can buy a case of that, or I can buy a case of Willet.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna buy the Willet.
Because if it doesn't sell, it's on you, right? In Ohio, we can take a chance on these guys.
Right.
Because if it doesn't sell as fast, or it doesn't start up really quick, we're okay with that.
Right.
Because we're not going to lose our ass like a little guy in a open state.
I'm trying to think. We've had locally. We've had Watershed, of course, High Bank, Echo, M&O.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried some of their collaboration?
Middle West.
Have you ever tried some of their collaboration?
We did.
bottles?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, my gosh.
Amazing,
Yeah,
right?
it's
It's like
fun. They're on, like,
talk
number
about the
3 or
best of
something
all
now,
worlds.
Oh my gosh.
coming together.
They each bring a barrel of what they're proud of, and then they blend it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy.
451. We've had 451.
God, Chad
The
Kessel's
guys at M&O
the
in
best.
Asheville. You talk about the little guys that like are just like quietly making this amazing product, and how do those like, I would say that Watershed and High Bank they're winning awards. They're starting to spread their word across the country. All the ones I just mentioned are very well respected in Ohio. So how do they raise that profile? What do they do? What do they have to do?
Well, once they kind of get a foothold, and people start talking about them, and they start winning awards, now it's what are the economies of scale that you can afford in terms of branching out distribution? Because once you're out of Ohio, you got to pay for distribution.
Yeah, you
Right,
got to pony up.
Right? And you got to pay if it's not, Greg Lehman isn't getting in his station wagon and driving all around New York pitching this stuff. He's got to hire a broker. Right? And they have broker reps.
So I think Greg Lehman, if he had to, would get in the station
He
wagon.
probably
would.
does that. But, so that's the
Make a
consideration.
station wagon look so cool.
That's about the only guy
Yeah,
that can make a
yeah.
station wagon look cool.
I know. I love these guys. They're really down to earth. They're really humble. I mean, you just want them to be successful.
We had some really nice ones at that festival. I mean, out of Dayton, I think there's one out of Toledo.
There's one that
maybe,
we're going
and-
to have on the podcast, Magnolia
Yeah.
Spirits is going to.
Magnolia is killing it.
Oh my God,
Magnolia
it's so good
is,
stuff.
It was like first of all, I never had sampled their whiskey before.
Right.
Rye.
I love their what?
Rye.
Their rye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That, that stuff. is-
And I also love their bottles. I love the look of their
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah, yeah.
Their
Very
labeling.
20s, 30s,
Yes.
40s.
And that speaks to
That's
me.
right.
So that spoke to me initially. Yeah, they're coming on the podcast later.
You can
Oh,
see like
okay, good.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Columbus?
yeah, Magnolia.
You
yeah.
can see like an empty bottle of Magnolia in the back of Bonnie and Clyde's
Right,
car.
right. You would. It's great. And we haven't talked to anybody from Noble Cut.
Noble Cut's great.
Noble
We
Yeah.
haven't even touched Cleveland.
Yeah.
The guys from Cleveland,
know.
they're entertaining. You need to get those guys.
Well, you can
on
help
the
me
show.
with that.
The dad and son team.
shit.
that own Cleveland. They're great.
We should do a road trip. We'll go up and visit Evergreen and then go to their distillery and do
Shout
a
out to
podcast.
our
In fact,
podcast,
the
brethren.
Cleveland owner is the current president of the Distillers Guild.
Oh,
Okay.
So he'd be good to have on.
We've had some of their whiskey on, but not them per se, as far as guest bottles.
Right. Well, and I'm just saying this whole city too, not just the brand. I mean, there's
Also, I got a watershed. Thank you. They put our whiskey business. We did a whiskey business barrel selection, and it's actually on their flight menu at the restaurant.
we're just trying to get rid of
that's what I'm saying. What are we gonna do with these 50 cases?
Why?
This
Why
one
can't- why
this
can't
one
you
has.
just embrace it.
I mean,
Does it-
Can't you embrace
good luck.
it?
Other three flights.
I
on
gotta
that
read. I
test.
gotta read what the tasting notes are. Notes of ashtray and garlic.
I actually saw a review on Instagram from somebody who had it, and they said it was awesome. You know,
Excellent.
It is good. It really is good.
do you know what? You guys are actually part of this podcast.
I know.
You're dissing your own
I
barrel
know, I know.
selection.
That's a lesson I learned from you in comedy: self-deprecation.
That's
Not
right.
when it comes to the whiskey.
This is our living here, our bread and butter.
That's all right. I'll stick up for it. No problem.
No,
Actually,
it is.
Actually, it's very good.
It is very good.
It is very
It's
good.
like it's high too. It's
just
one
wanna
to
get-
one.
It's like 123 proof.
119 proof, yeah. It was a hottie. But it was on the flight menu. And I
Do they
was
still
like,
have full bottles that you can buy?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just walk on in there, dude.
Apparently, you said they're trying to get rid of it.
Kidding. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They're right on the outside. They're outside in the stoop. You just have to go pick one up. You don't have to pay for it.
It's a,
They give you money to take it away.
And they,
It's an honor system.
and then they asked me, how come we're not bigger than we are as far as a podcast? I mean, I know we're doing well, but how come we're not bigger than we are? I don't know. Maybe because you actually diss us while we're doing a podcast. If they don't, there's somebody out there right now.
I'm
going, you know what? If they
kidding.
don't believe in themselves, then how am I supposed to?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I know
kidding.
you're kidding. I
Go
know
and
you're
ask
kidding.
ask for it
I
by
know
name.
you're kidding.
That's
I
right.
know you're
That's
kidding.
hilarious.
I know you're
That is
kidding.
so funny.
Oh my God!
Hey, I got
I
a
did. I did
question.
teach you self-deprecation.
You got a
I blame
question.
myself.
Chip's got a question.
Dino, I got a question. Earlier, we didn't get to this. I know from previous podcasts that this will go away if I don't bring it up because you forget to bring up something. But the Old Forester, what's the dusty shelf?
Oh,
mean?
okay.
What does that mean exactly?
So,
I don't really know.
it has different meanings to different people, but generally speaking, what it means is somebody's got something on their shelf in their basement, in their home bar, that they covet so much that they don't really touch it, and it's generally not opened, and it's there and there and there and there, and they save it, and then ultimately they're either inviting friends over or they're giving it to a friend, and it's something that's
Dying.
it's something that's not made anymore.
Right.
Right.
It's a different bottle than current production. It's got a different label than current production. It's a different proof than is made anymore. So it's like an antique that you can drink.
So I wasn't far off when I said it was on your shelf for a while.
No, right. It was on someone's shelf for a while.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law in Florida. He got into Dusty's about a year and a half ago, and right now, that's all he's doing.
How do you find dusty shelf?
He's in that network.
You're an American picker, but it's for whiskey.
for whiskey. Yeah.
Estate
He has
sales.
contacts with people.
Estate
He
sales.
trades. He
Yeah.
goes to estate sales. They do all of it. They go. That's where that one came from. That came from a sweet old lady who just wanted all the liquor out of her house.
Now, is that technically illegal? Like an antique bottle?
Yeah, if
I try to sell it
if you
on the
try
secondary
to, yeah,
market,
if you go out and try to put it on your Facebook page and sell it, hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
But-
illegal.
Well, no, I know. I'm just asking, like, where I know if I go and buy a bottle of Eagle Rare and sell it, yes. But if I have a bottle in my basement for 30
You
years,
cannot sell
Okay.
alcohol without a
double check
permit,
it.
I have a question.
even if you make it.
Okay,
Ooh.
but
You can't
But-
You're
sell
not
it
allowed to make it.
currently.
how long have we been a control state?
Since after Prohibition.
Oh shit! So okay, I got you. I almost had an
Yeah.
argument there.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I found my new
Did-
hobby for 2023. finding dusty shelf bottles of whiskey.
And taking them for free. For free.
Beating up old ladies for it.
Not true. There's a bottle of Old Fitzgerald in there.
Original label.
Original label. And I told
Unopened.
Benny it's worth money. My brother-in-law would be interested in it, and we bought it. But it wasn't on the secondary market or anything like that. I just bought it from an individual. I could do that, right?
No, he just said no.
He gave it to you as a gift, probably.
Yeah, it's a gift.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
That's what you meant. The only issue, other than these are cool, they're just, the provenance is cool. I mean, the thing you got to be careful though is like wine, like anything else, the air
Once it's open.
impacts it. So if it had a crack in the seal, if it had, you want to be careful. Is the only thing.
Yeah, we had
Because it's not a Beanie Baby.
We had we had some 90 proof Jack Daniels on during the Bengals Chiefs game, but thank God we had
Let's
the
not talk about that.
But we cracked that bottle open. It was great. Mm-hmm. It was great. All the flavor was there, and everything was wonderful.
That's nice.
So
You're talking about the whiskey, not the Bengals.
Right.
now I'm talking about the whiskey.
Did the whiskey have an O line? Because the Bengals certainly did not.
It held the O line.
Hell, the O line.
Yeah.
What else you want to know? You got me here.
I don't know. Is there anything you need to tell us that we didn't cover that you want us
I
that
can't,
you,
thi-
that
I
you
can't
need to
think
share?
of it. I can't think
with
of it. I can't think of it. You covered it, I think.
Covered a lot of areas. What's new, the pandemic sales, the website. And you good?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Real good. Yeah.
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 Did you get COVID?
No, I didn't. As far
Never
as I
got
know.
COVID?
No.
You know why, don't you?
Garlic? Oh.
Whiskey.
Could be. That's my.
Could be.
That could be.
It could be. You're pickled like me.
What's going to be the trend in 23 for not whiskey or bourbon? You mentioned tequila a bunch today.
Tequila
as the top
is
shelf.
just-
Tequila's hot. Tequila's super hot.
Really,
And why?
really.
Why is it super hot?
It's trendy. There, a lot of trend leaders, Hollywood, music, acting,
That's right. Everybody's got a tequila.
The Rock.
Okay.
yeah, right.
country bands,
Let me
The
ask you
Ron
Rock,
White.
Maybe you can
Kevin
help me.
Hart.
Maybe you can help me because
You want to start a brand?
no. What I need to do is I need to be reintroduced because I know tequila and its flavor profiles and have changed so much.
I'll have to get. There are people who do nothing but educate on tequilas and mezcals.
Okay, because I'm
And-
talking 30 years ago when
but-
I got super sick on it.
Hey, 2 fingers tequila in the freezer before we would go out from the fraternity house. That was my experience with it. I can't stand tequila. It's kind of for to me, but I'll sell the heck out of it.
So do you
but
drink it as we speak?
I do not.
Neither do I.
I don't like it.
But what? But everybody keeps telling me you need to try tequila now.
No. So if you do you like cilantro?
The
Yes.
herb.
There are some people who hate cilantro.
Yeah, I do.
Tastes
Right.
like soap, right?
I do.
To some people.
Some people it's like a stink bug.
Right.
Right.
I do.
Cilantro's good.
Well, there are people who hate it though, and it's a certain flavor profile that whatever you eat, you're like, there's cilantro in that. Tequila is like that for me. There's a flavor profile in it. I don't like it. I don't want it. And I've had suppliers like, no, Jim, you're a bourbon guy. This is finished in bourbon barrels. You're gonna
Finished in bourbon barrels.
you're gonna love it.
I've had
You're a
that,
coffee
though.
guy.
It's good.
This one is finished.
This-
This has
yeah,
got
this is-
it's
it's-
coffee infused.
It's finished in bourbon barrels. You're gonna love it. Cost $500 a bottle. I'm like, don't waste
they
it.
all
on-
talk like this, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Everybody-
They're from New-
Tequila guy.
they're from New York.
Trying to get you to drink something. Talks like this.
They're salespeople. You're gonna love this car. It's a great car. Check.
Yeah.
Look at these tires on the car.
Yeah, Smith and Lax, baby.
Look at that bucket seat. So they're like, I'm like, don't waste it on me. Do not waste it on me. And they're like, no, really, you're gonna love it. Tequila. It's tequila.
Just tequila.
It's tequila. To me. But there are people who are like, no, it's a sipper, it's butter. And fine. Like I'm back to the pizza. I like pizza. I'm not a big fan of liver, but like there are people who like liver.
Liver pizza.
Ooh.
I like fried chicken liver.
There's a market for, but tequila is off the charts. Tequila is off the charts.
Hey, do they still
And
have
now
worm at the
we're
bottom?
gonna be looking at doing single barrel tequilas.
Wow.
Oh man.
Really? That's kind of.
Is there a lure of the worm kind of thing with the tequila? Is that
Mezcal?
A thing? Is that an actual thing?
It is a thing.
It is
Now,
a
what
thing.
happens really when you take
We're gonna have to get an expert on that.
Yeah, and that's another podcast.
That's another pod. It's the tequila podcast.
I saw a TikTok where is this giant bottle and there's a dead snake at the bottom of it.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's gross.
that's a big ass worm.
that?
Sounds like a bad dream.
Yeah, why would I want to drink that?
I don't know. It was on TikTok, so it was true.
Was it like a viper or just a regular garden
Okay.
snake?
You know, it was dead.
So tequila succeeded where I don't want to say gin couldn't, because everybody was pushing gin. Gin seemed to be raising its pretty little head up and saying, "Drink us."
Yeah, the gin was like a bartender's sort of thing, and I think it still is because of the botanicals and because you can do so many cool things with it. But as far as I know, the trend is going to be Indian single malt, Irish whiskey,
Yes.
and single barrel
Canadian whiskey.
That's what I think
I
the
have-
trend is going to be.
I have friends in all three bottles that'll be very happy to hear this, from the Irish to the Canadian, and yes, to the Indian even. So they'll be thrilled to hear that these.
Love that. She went to India and visited it for like 3 months.
So out of the three, what we had, boys, favorites. I'm going with the Teeling for me.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
the Canadian. The Crown
Okay.
Royal was the first one I tasted. And I
Have
liked
you
it.
had Crown before?
Yeah.
Yeah. You said the black tooth, right? You had
Yeah,
the
the
black
black
tooth.
And you?
Teeling is my favorite, I think. But I think if I saw the Paul John, I'm gonna definitely pick it up.
I mean, I get all three, but
Chip?
I'm saying as far as for Chip,
I like the Teeling because it's so drinkable. I just love the drinkability.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I like to
my
get other
boys like
things
to
than
drink a lot of
Jameson.
something that they think won't get them messed up before it's all said and done.
That's right.
And the Teeling seems to be the winner.
It's like Kool-Aid. It's the Kool-Aid of whiskeys.
And that's the 110 proof one.
Yeah. Well, I said about him before, we're putting 110 proof whiskey into a 40 proof body. So
The math doesn't add
yeah,
up.
Well, he's drinking. He's got an old English back down over
He
here.
actually went the whole month of January without drinking. He did the dry January.
This is the most
so,
I've drank since New Year's Eve.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I'm
so-
sick. I'm
Yeah,
wasted.
Is that Paul John?
Paul John, yeah.
That one would make a great like hot toddy, I think.
Oh, I would not.
Don't-
I would not pour it into a hot toddy. No.
Why don't you just put like some grape Fago with it?
As I said before,
Chip's
is
coming
still
along.
Coming along.
I think he just called you a barbarian.
I hope to accompany the good folks at Ohio Liquor on another barrel
Well,
selection.
you're our Jack Daniels expert,
Yeah,
so we like you on that trip
I would love to go on that trip again. And was another one coming up anytime soon?
every year.
I know it's in November
I
again.
don't know when they are.
I don't know. you're already the superintendent.
Talk to my people.
Talk to your
I was
people.
thinking about this. Remember the first time we had you on, your assistant or marketing gal she had to stay on the phone
sat
the whole
down.
time.
Oh yeah,
Right.
just to make sure we didn't say
Yeah, it was
anything
pandemic,
against the
wasn't it?
rule.
Was
No, she knew you guys were going to say things objectionable. She just wanted to make sure.
Oh,
We
okay.
did it, yeah.
Right.
But now look at the relationship we've grown here, huh?
That's right. That's right.
Very good.
The new person still called me
To double check.
to double
The
check.
pre-screen
Yeah, she was doing some
What are you going to
screening.
talk about? I don't know.
pizza.
Kristen,
We kind of,
Kristen Castle.
yeah. I said we kind of just kind of run with it, and and I go, Jim's unpredictable. Oh, I know that. that nervous little.
That,
voice.
they were asking me that today. They were like, so what's going to happen? I'm like, well, Dino will ask me questions. He'll listen halfway through while he's looking at his next question.
No, that's not true at all. I take offense to that.
got-
one.
He only has two
I'm like, he's
questions
got.
I
written.
take
I'm like,
offense to that
I'm like,
one.
he's got a little bit of OCD, so he got, he's there's a lot going on up there.
No, that's what I always hated when I was on the radio as a guest, is that I would answer a question, they'd be looking at the next question. I'm an active listener.
Okay.
I don't do that. I don't do that. I look at what I got down here to make sure
I'm
I
a
covered
very
it.
good driver.
Yeah,
I'm a very good driver.
I do have a little, but you are correct. I do have a little OCD.
I know.
I do a little OCD, but not as far as you're answering.
You're an
the question
excellent
that
driver. You're an excellent
way. Not
driver.
as far as answering the questions, though. I listened to the questions. That one I'm going to call you on. That almost upset me.
It's okay, buddy. I'm sorry, bud. We can talk about it later.
He's never coming back.
Of course he's coming back. You have an open invitation, man. I'm just glad we got you back finally.
It's tough. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
getting harder.
Traveling like
It's
crazy.
getting harder.
Yeah. Traveling like crazy, for sure.
Yeah.
Bringing the best we can to Ohio, just for you.
You know what I never asked you?
Oh, no.
No,
he's gonna get me. Now he's going to get me. The OCD.
No, not the OCD. Nothing to do with the OCD. What does your wife think about you being the superintendent of Ohio Liquor?
She's not surprised.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's not surprised. Because it's like she knew, like when I went for 6 weeks to fix something, she was like,
It's not
going to be 6 weeks.
It's not going to
Jim.
be 6 weeks.
It's not going to be 6 weeks. And then, when I started, all my jobs have been like, murder trials and, environmental disasters.
And that's a whole other podcast we could probably
even
do
touched
because a lot of the stuff you've done are significant trials.
Yeah, Lucasville.
Right.
So all my career has been just like, just crazy sleepless nights, just, and then there's this job that comes along. And at first it was a dumpster fire that needed to be fixed, but now she's like, and I'm like, I don't know. She's like, will you just enjoy it? And I'm like, okay, I will.
Yeah.
And I am.
And she's a great lady. I know your wife. She's
Holly's wonderful.
Yeah, she's spectacular. She's great. It's a good match. It's a good match, you two. Yeah. Tell her I said hello.
I will.
Hello, Hailey.
Happy. This is a Valentine's Day episode. By the way.
That's right.
That's as romantic as we get.
All
in
right,
whiskey
man.
business.
Well, thank you
welcome.
for
Welcome.
educating us, enlightening us, entertaining us.
Try to.
All the above. Insulting us
Yeah,
occasionally
great.
as well.
Yeah, he can go toe to toe. It's fun.
He can. That's why I like Jim Canepa on the podcast.
But we need to do
Yeah, man.
bocce, bourbon, and brajol
I can make that happen.
at the club.
Okay, so how do you envision that?
I
What do you
envision us.
What do you see? What do you see happening there?
I envision us
I can get the brajol.
with
I can get the botch.
a whiskey while we're putting together the brajol.
One whiskey.
No, there's the first. It's like a 3-part. First, we're making the brajol, drinking whiskey in the kitchen.
All right, so we're making the brajol.
Yeah.
All right,
Is
you
this
have
a
recipe?
podcast or you guys
Yes,
need
that's
to...
what
Okay.
I'm talking about. Like
All right, you make it.
I make it,
Planning the next
Okay.
date.
and I'm going to show you how to make it.
Okay, because I don't have a recipe for
I
brajol.
in my sleep, I can do it.
What the hell-
Seriously.
what's-
Yes,
I don't
my
even-
grandmother's
what's
recipe.
brajol? What is brajol? Is that a nickname for sauce? Is
It's
that sauce?
steak
It's steak.
with garlic, parsley, cheese, potatoes,
Yeah,
eggs.
It's got all kind of.
You roll it.
No cilantro though, right?
No,
Okay.
you roll it. You roll it, tie it, braise it in garlic and olive oil, and then drop it in your marinara sauce to let
sounds
it
good.
tenderize for a few hours. Instead of like a meatball or sausage,
You do it
it's
as
brajol.
steaks.
So we make the brajol. We drink one selection. Then we move on to the bocce court while it's marinating and continue to talk and sip on some whiskey. And we have a rousing game of bocce, and then we go back, sit down,
Can we get the Bocce Brothers on?
and we sit down at a table with a checkered tablecloth
We got
and
all
eat
that.
our brajol.
That sounds like a great podcast.
That's what I'm
half
saying.
melted candle in a Chianti bottle.
That's right.
Have you ever been to an Italian club meeting?
I've been to that one.
Which one?
Yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With me?
Not with you, but to that same club. Yeah.
You been there recently?
No, years ago.
Okay, we need
Years
to
ago.
get you back.
Years ago. But that's the idea. Bourbon, bocce, brajol.
I like it. I like it. And the Bocce Brothers would be a good,
Yeah, that'd be a good fit.
have those boys on as well.
Because you need
they-
teammates for the bocce, right?
Right. It could be us against the Bocce Brothers, which we would lose because
God.
that's all they did, eat.
Can we
sleep.
play? Can we play bocce?
Of course.
All right.
Of course, our team. Yeah, we'll be like the,
All right.
speaking of bees, we'd be like the Bad News Bears.
There you go. It would be.
So we can be tasting, talking about whiskey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but cooking and throwing some.
Okay.
Pauline,
That's a two-parter.
There's
I mean,
Ubers
that's
involved
something.
there.
so
that-
throwing some Pauline.
Get a bunch of wirelesses and we're
Yep.
good to go.
I like it.
All right.
All right.
Coming this summer.
And you
Yeah,
can
the spring. It'll
you
be a good
learn a little
spring.
something about how to make a brajol. You learn
Yeah,
a
we
little
can't
something.
do it on a Monday because that's when actually bocce is played during the spring and summer. Summer bocce. So we'd have to do like we could do it. I can make it happen.
Wednesday.
Well, we can do it like after the place is closed and nobody's playing bocce. Turn the lights on.
We have lights, outdoor lights.
know.
Yeah, we got it all. I can make it. I'll make it work.
You're right. He knows a guy.
I know a guy. Well, I do know a guy. I know this guy. I know. Yeah. Trust me. I'm good. Okay. This has been good.
Yeah,
I'm going to wrap it up. Where we at time wise?
an hour and a half.
Perfect.
Jim, you haven't touched your pizza.
I'm going to.
Whiskey Business is your favorite podcast. Not so much about whiskey as it is one with whiskey. But this one was really actually a lot about whiskey.
It was a good one.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thank you for following Whiskey Business on your favorite podcasting app. If you're on iTunes, go ahead and rate, review us because that helps out our numbers and everything. Subscribe on YouTube, Whiskey Business with Dino Tripodis.
Yes.
He gives John puts the unedited version of the podcast on, so a lot of the nonsense that I cut out,
It's there.
It's he's gonna have that.
Here, the video.
Point of order, as far as adding to our list of whiskeys, do we count all the whiskeys that we tried tonight?
Of course.
think
That was
we do.
official. More
Okay,
official than
more-
it.
okay.
We tasted those more than the Old Forester.
Okay, so we had the Crown Royal.
That's right.
And it's going to get us to 250 quicker.
The Teeling whiskey single grain.
Which you need to stash back a nice bottle of something rare for 250. We'll bring you back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'll bring you back in a month.
Don't
Or a
make
year.
promises you
In a
can't
year.
And Paul John's classic.
Because we're at 211, 212, 213, 214, 215.
You know, for your 250th, maybe we go down to a distillery and taste something.
Which,
That's it. For your 250th.
Like a road trip?
When you say a distillery, do you mean in Ohio or elsewhere?
Who knows? The whiskey that you feature opened at the distillery.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it could be fun.
You could thieve it right from some barrel.
Associate producer Jim Canepa.
All right, so
He's
counting
playing
all
the
these
game.
whiskeys, we get
It
up
all,
to
it all,
we're up to
you know.
214.
The Gatos. I'm liking the Gatos.
They got those.
It's good stuff, right?
Isn't that like Italian for cat?
It is Italian for cat. I had a friend of mine email me about that. The pizza joint you had on, isn't that Italian for cat? I go, it's pronounced gatto, and you guys say gattos. I said, as long as I've been getting pizza from there, which has been a long time, they call it gattos.
They call it.
Yeah.
But it's spelled, if you look at it, it is the Italian word for cat. You are correct. So,
They're cool cats.
they're cool
They're
cats.
making pizzas.
Yeah. Yep. So thank you, Gattos. Thank you, Jeff Gage, for being our sponsor of all.
Thanks, Jeff.
You picked a great time to be a sponsor guest bottles. We got a ton of them. And thank you, Jim Canepa, man. Thank you so much, buddy.
Welcome.
Thrilled that you got to sign our barrel before you leave out front. It's the barrel from Watershed. They gave me the barrel that we had our whiskey in.
Notes of ashtray and
Yeah.
garlic.
But you have to sign it. We
Okay.
have all our guests sign it now.
Cool.
So we want you to
Awesome.
be part of that history. When I die and this is all turned into a museum, there'll be the whiskey barrel out front.
When you give all of this to Chip
Yeah.
after you die.
and I leave Greg and John out of the will, and it all goes to Chip.
Goes to Chip.
That's
It
right.
goes to Chip.
It's like an adventure on Yellowstone. You start killing each other to collect Dino's collection.
Buddy. But seriously, I want you to sign the barrel before you leave. Okay?
Chip is the Beth of the whiskey business show. He's taking people out.
All right. My name is Dino Tripodis. As always, folks, we're thrilled that our listenership continues to grow. Thank you for all the views and the downloads, et cetera, et cetera. We hope that we continue not to disappoint on a regular basis, only entertain. So until the next bottle or bottles, see ya. Woohoo!